moving urgently from one task to the next, feeling like there is such a big to-do list that it never ends and that you'll never get round to doing the things that allow for calm, clarity and a sense of control to take steps towards feeling healthy and happier? Well, women are taught to have high expectations of themselves, to manage everything, to keep things moving and to maintain a high standard across multiple responsibilities. What we are not taught is how to manage that. For many women, this means focusing on what can be done immediately, working through a long to-do list, completing tasks quickly so they're no longer sitting, they're demanding attention. However, if we were taught to pause, to take steps that will allow us time to think before continuing, we would often find there is more space in our day to take steps that support our well-being, whether this is physical health, emotional well-being or psychological experience. Often the things that pull our attention are those that feel most urgent, the ones we believe must be done first, otherwise they remain unresolved or continue to contribute towards our mental load. Yet the actions that are most beneficial to us, both in the moment and over time, are often those that genuinely support our well-being. The difficulty is that we have not been taught how to pause, reflect and take time to decide what will support us, because we are focused on meeting those high expectations. This is why I designed a simple tool so you don't have to think about pausing. When you notice yourself moving from one task to the next, you can simply return to this tool and to take that moment for yourself. There are two psychological principles I'd love to share with you with regard to this. The first one is cognitive load theory, and this basically suggests that by having competing and duplicate and compounding demands on your time, your thoughts and your energy and your emotions, it makes it really difficult to think through new things at any one point. And even if the new thing could be a habit or a change that's supportive in the immediate space or in the long term, doing the thing the way we always do it requires less cognitive energy, and so we tend to get stuck in those cycles just because it's really challenging for us to make those changes. Now, the second theory is self-determination theory, and I really do love this theory. If you already know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's kind of similar, in which case there are actions to be done in terms of having a sense of motivation or drive to become the best person that we could possibly be. With Maslow's hierarchy of needs suggests that you need to feel satisfied in each of the levels before you can get up to the level of personal growth. Now, with self-determination theory, I like this because it isn't hierarchical. It suggests that you can work on any area of your personal growth, or the person you are, your self-identity, your goals and your ambitions, without having to satisfy different needs. And in doing this, there are three principles behind this. The first one is having a sense of agency, so having some element of control over what's going on. The next one is acknowledging competence. So you know that you are able to do it, and having that evidence supports you in moving forward. And then relatedness. Now that's either feeling part of a collective, or it could actually be relationships or something that's happening socially with you. But just to be able to go, I'm not alone in this, this is part of the human condition, or this is part of a female's condition, or this is part of balancing work and family. You're not the only person doing that. Or it could be a relationship, it could be open up conversations that are really supportive. So rather than just thinking of yourself as this person in this vacuum, and that you have to work your way from feeling secure in different types of areas before you can look at me as a person doing more for myself, it's saying let's look at three different areas. So I designed tools within the Women's Wellbeing Lab that allow you to build that sense of agency, having more intention, looking at what it is you want and what's important to you, and also bringing in that social element, whether it is directly through having conversations and building connections, or it's just feeling part of something that's bigger than just you on your own. The tool I want to share with you today comes in two formats. There's a PDF and there is a video, and I'll explain why there's two and how they sit within inside the lab later on. So when you go into the lab, you can literally grab any of the PDFs available. There are other journaling activities, but this is a pause one that you'll find within the resource library under pause and prioritize. And you'll find this PDF is literally just 2 pages, PDF, front cover, and also the steps for this. There are about, let's have a look, 12 different journaling prompts to go through. And obviously, depending on your experience with it, you might want to rush through it and identify the step that makes the most difference to you. Or you can take your time and go through every single journaling prompt that you wish to. So what pause stands for then is P is about the present moment. And I offer you 3 prompts here to journal about. The first one is what has been happening recently that has led to this pause. Then the next one is what has happened today or most recently that's prompted you to stop and reflect. And then finally, what is currently occupying your attention or mental space? So that is the present moment. So that's your P in pause. The next one is awareness. So then I'll give you 3 different prompts there to support a little bit more awareness about what's going on. Then we have U, which is unhelpful. Now this is linking to what has been going on with you that hasn't been supporting you recently. And then S is supportive. So in your pause framework, P-A-U-S-E, and S is what does support you right now. So it gives you 3 different prompts to go through there. And then the last one is exhale. Now, I love a good breathing technique, and I think most people are aware that by controlling your breath, you can support your reaction to what's happening around you. So I'll give you some guidance here on what that looks like in this moment while you're pausing. And then afterwards, you can then move on to either doing a new activity within the lab or just taking a moment to have a look at that to-do list. Or there are interactive tools to work through as well. Okay, and the second way of accessing this reflection tool is through a video. Now this is ideal if you don't want to sit down with a pen and paper and journal. This is you just want to stop. You're feeling slightly overwhelmed, the to-do list keeps on growing, and all you want to do is take a minute for yourself. So jump onto the Women's Wellbeing Lab and you'll find the interactive tools page. And on here, before you get to the interactive tools, is your video to do this pause activity. It literally just guides you through those different journaling prompts, just so you can take a moment to pause, to reflect, take that exhale before moving on to doing whatever it is that you think is most important to you in that moment. Okay, so that's one of many tools within the Women's Wellbeing Lab. It is there to support you in pausing. The next steps you might do from there are doing reflection activities. So you have the interactive tools which store those reflections for the next time you come back. You can have a look what you thought last time and what's going on with you now. And then it gives you some journaling or some coaching prompts to move forward in whatever area you're looking to make changes in at the present. You might also want to move on to doing some action planning. And so there are 4 categories that you might want to have a look at, and they are reducing stress and overwhelm and feeling calmer. There are building healthy habits, there is managing change and building resilience, and there is feeling like you are thriving. You might find actually that coaching is what you need right now. So there are options within the Women's Wellbeing Lab to either come into doing some reflection work, possibly with inside a group, or doing some one-to-one coaching with me. But there are plenty of options. The whole point is it's self-paced, that you feel in that moment you want to pause, and then maybe you want to move on afterwards, but there is no obligation to do anything else. Even if the lab offers you that chance just to pause and to think, it is there for you for that.